I love the message that our rabbi gave us, and I'm so grateful for those who recorded it, because he's no longer with us, but his teachings remain with us, as Yeshua's teachings remain with us, as Moshe's teachings. We are so blessed to have these teachings. And one of the things that I know I personally struggle with, although I'm faster than most because I have the emotional lifespan of a fruit fly, so everything with me is faster, but I understand the idea of the paradigm shift. How in Egypt we had formed many paradigms, and Egypt is our past. And in our past, as we're growing up, we form many belief systems that just become a part of us, and we don't even realize that they may be leading us on a path that is not a right the right direction. If and if it leads us to the place where we, with all our pride, say, "I know everything, and I'm not going to change," that is the worst thing that we can do. And even when those around us are telling us that there's something wrong, we need to pay attention. Although most people don't tell us, even those who are closest to us, because it's a very difficult thing to do. I'm grateful for friends, and I say friends because most people are not friends. It's not easy to have a good friend, because a good friend will tell you the truth about what they see. And sometimes our egos are so strong that they don't want to hear, and we become angry. How dare you say that to me? But we have to go away and think about it. I love his story about his analogy of the drug of choice which we had when we were in Egypt. He said it's like heroin, and when someone wants to get off heroin, they are given another drug called methadone, who they say is some say that it's the same thing as heroin, and that it doesn't work. But I think the element that's missing in all that is our willingness to change. We have to be willing to leave things from the past and move toward the future, and it's not going to happen in one fell swoop. God is not going to wave his magic wand and just change us. He takes us through a process, and every one of us do not escape a process. And for some, it's faster, and for some, it's longer, depending on our calling, perhaps, on the character that he's given us. But when we start to suffer from the things that we are living, the thoughts that we have, when they start to, when they bring on suffering in our lives, that's when we sit back and say, maybe I need to change. Maybe there's something inside me. And that's when the search begins. What should have taken only 11 days to get to the promised land. But because of our stubborn pride, we and our returning to the gods of Egypt, just like the modern midrash that Rabbi gave us today. It was a beautiful, beautiful picture. And, it took 40 years. I know that things take time, but the most important thing for us is to be willing to listen to our hearts, to our minds, to our thoughts, to the people around us, and to just look around. If something is wrong, it's going to show itself, and we need to be willing to say, God, show me, search me, oh God, know my heart. Especially we're now 2 weeks away from Pesach. And before every single high holiday, from the time I became a believer till now, I can see that the testing gets stronger before the high holidays. And we have to stop and say, okay, Lord, thank you for the process, even if it hurts, even if it's painful. Help me to see what you want me to say. Search my heart, because I can't see these things in me. And let me be willing. Let me have a willing heart That's that's what our Torah portions teach us over and over, to have a willing heart. So let's ask ourselves, what is the paradigm that I'm still living that I need to change? And it isn't just one paradigm, it's many. And for each of us, it's different. We have to be willing to see those within ourselves. So thank you, Rabbi. I appreciate wherever you are. You don't have to deal with that anymore, but we do. So thank you for your teachings.
I guess I usually go second, so
I guess so. That's our paradigm.
I can go third. What was I gonna say? There's so many things. It was such a rich presentation. I wrote some notes. Okay. I love the picture he gave of the uh this couple who are going to get married, oh no, they got married. The husband went away to get
They
to
were
go.
they were fiancé. They weren't
Oh
married
yeah,
yet.
that's right. They were
Yeah,
fiancé.
but they had prepared their vows.
Right. And he
Yeah.
went away to make it beautiful, I guess a ketubah.
No, he had a business. He went on a business trip.
Oh right, it was a business
And
trip, but
he
also
he
was going to
wrote
bring.
he wrote the vows in a frame, and they put him up in the living room for her to see, representing the ketubah, the Ten
Right.
Commandments. Right,
Okay, but he took so long, and then an old boyfriend, all that stuff came up,
right.
and the trust. It's like with the tablets when he gave the tablets what the first time, and then the golden calf. So again, the trust. They did not trust their relationship with God. They didn't trust God, and they back to idols. So the same with the picture he gave of the couple. And he came back, and finally they restored their relationship, but the trust, it was a different thing now. So trust is so important to build up trust in our relationship with God. It's a lifelong process, but I
Yes,
really like that picture, you know. And what he said this before about the golden calf being between the two parashas on the building of uh, the Mishkan. And again, it's about trust, because the second time it's about bringing your best and restoration. It's just a wonderful picture, and the process that we all go through, which I've been having lots of things happening to me lately, which are really beautiful. I remember the idea that we can't see God. And sometimes I wonder, um, as I told you, I listen a lot to Jordan Peterson just to make a point. Sometimes what we call our conscience, when a voice in our head talks about something and it persists, and it's something very special. And I think God often talks to us through that, because um, just to give you an example of what happened to me, which is really amazing to me. But for a long time, I was very caught up in astrology, not in the part of it that talks about predictions. I didn't get into that, but the image of that as a caricature of our personalities, etc. But I was very obsessive. Sometimes I get into things and I get I was very obsessive about it. And then I knew, I said, I have to let this go. And it's very hard for me to let go. And I had to think of, why did it have such a hold on me? Because when I'm going to tell you what happened just the other day is that, again, I see people, and sometimes immediately, without even willing to do it, because I don't want to be involved in that, I will see characteristics of them that I know through the astrological signs. Not that about predicting. Anyway, so the other day I was thinking about, I wonder what Jordan Peterson's, because I have a lot of respect for him, what his ascendant sign is. And that doesn't matter what it is. And I was obsessing about it, and I said, no, Miriam, you're not going to go on the internet and see if I could find out, if he has a chart, blah, 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 because I've done that with a lot of actors that I like or a lot of people. Anyway, I said, no, Miriam, you're not going to do that. And I've not done it, but the impulse to do it, you can't imagine, it sounds so stupid, but the impulse to do it has been very intense for months. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. And then I said, what's really going on here? And what's really going on is really amazing to me. I'm not saying, okay, it's that part of some of the signs that I don't have in my chart represent things that I wish I had. And I sometimes fall short, and it's sort of a kind of insecurity of mine that why don't I have those things? And I wanted to look up if he had those things, and it would just fuel my insecurities. Oh, I have this and I don't have that. My character isn't strong enough in this area, blah, blah, blah. And I said, isn't that interesting? Now I'm focusing on why I feel that way and how God could make me how I have to look at myself and value myself more strongly and let that go. And that's been amazing. Now I'm not impelled at all to look up what his stuff is with his astrology signs. I'm seeing the root of my intense attention to astrology, especially in the past, and that just changed it. It's because of my own personal insecurities, has nothing to do with astrology.
Amazing.
And that's how we have to change. That's what our paradigms, we have to change and look at how we are walking in the desert and progressing to a closer relationship with God. For me, that was very important because it's changed. It's a major paradigm shift in my,
And that's what Yeshua said. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you
yeah,
free
it's
in
really,
every
really,
situation.
yeah,
Exactly. That
yeah,
happens to me so often.
yeah,
And it happens to those who really say, I want to know.
yeah.
God wants a willing heart.
Yes, and thank God, because really it's amazing for me.
Yeah.
It's something very, very special. And I
Yeah.
think everyone has their own thing that they have to work on. And
Yeah, and we for our understanding of true freedom is very important. He says it's not about being libertine where anything goes. It's freedom within the boundaries that he has set up for us, given to us through his 10 commandments. Those are the boundaries of life. And when we learn to live by them, it's so awesome.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's another thing I marked down. It's so important
yeah,
that freedom makes us more responsible, or and
exactly.
it's interesting, but the more boundaries, really boundaries from God that you have, the freer you are, because it gives you the truth of what life is all about. And look at children who don't have boundaries. So
Yeah,
many kids, people in the woke thing that's going on now.
yeah,
These are people who don't have boundaries and don't want any boundaries on anything,
yeah,
even uh the homeless, for example. They're saying now, when people say, well, we have to consider like building homes and blah, blah, blah. And they said, well, maybe they want to be like that. Maybe like they're saying such
yeah, yeah.
ridiculous things,
Crazy.
like no
What
boundaries
they
are
do?
respected. And boundaries make us truly free to
Right.
be who God created us to be.
Yes. Yeah. Mauricio, you're next.
Okay. Um, um, well, in the point is deeper than the paradigm shift, because the problem is when the reality we know currently is what they teach us is good, okay, is wrong. So is there is no, unless God, obviously, that 100% true. Okay. um, and this is something that honestly I've been thinking, because this week I saw, for example, some persons that were under at Iran. Okay,
A
they
what?
thought
Sorry?
they were. I don't know if they were from Iran or
Oh, okay.
from some part of those places. But when they discover that they have been taught since they are kids, Israel is the Baal,
Right.
Israel deserves to die, Israel wants to destroy you, etc. They have grown with this truth in their minds. Okay, so for them, they don't even stop to think if that could be truth or not. Okay,
Well, that's exactly what the rabbi was saying. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, uh, in so we are part of what the social um, culture around all of us teach us. Okay, so uh, this is, you know, that probably we think, oh, um, this is good, this is bad, and when you grow with an idea, with social truth, okay, uh, inside your brain, then you just get to an age when you stop to think by yourself,
Right.
and then you realize and you start to question, and the problem is that people around you do not accept you because you dare yourself to think, to think out of the box.
Right.
And you know, this week on Tuesday we were discussing about uh, a teaching of Yeshua uh, on John chapter 8. Okay, and honestly, I didn't read this portion, I don't know, 20 years ago, at least. So when I started to read it again, I rediscover with another reading, new reading, uh, that the idea is completely different of of what I've learned when I was kid.
Hmm.
Okay,
What was
and
it?
that
What was it in John 8?
John 8 is about a woman
Caught,
that she,
got caught in adultery?
yeah, caught in adultery. Yeah, and and then some Pharisees and some of the um writers of the Torah, uh, they came to Yeshua, who was teaching just close to the temple. Okay, and they came to present a case, okay, of this woman trying to stone her.
Hmm.
Okay, and I remember that when I read that when I was kid, honestly, the story was very close. Oh, Yeshua saved the woman because he loves too much the woman, and just said to hypocrites, to the Pharisees and to religious people, and so he abolished the Torah because he pardoned the woman. Okay, that's what they taught me. Okay, but when I restart to read it again, I discovered too many treasures. Okay, because that's the problem with a paradigm shift. First, you need to stop, okay, and then you need to start to think. People don't like to think because that carries responsibility, okay. Is and responsibility makes you to study. Responsibility makes you to assume that the truth, the facts, okay, and send to the trash all the previous ideas, okay, and then defend the truth before the persons that you used to share time, okay. And in this portion of the Gospel of John, honestly, is more, well, first thing is they call to Yeshua Rabbi, okay. That means that Yeshua was Pharisee also.
Was what?
In
Fighting? Was what?
Pharisee,
A Pharisee.
Phariseo,
Okay.
Pharisee, yeah. Because only the Pharisees call themselves rabbis. Okay.
Okay.
So he was not pointing out to outside. He was pointing out inside the group he belongs to. Okay.
Right.
So that makes you a completely different thing. Then
Right.
he then came to abolish the Torah. What he did, they came before Rabbi Yeshua to make him like a judge. Okay.
They were judging him instead of him considering him as their peer who was
Yeah.
challenging them.
Yeah. So they in the reading they said, okay, they came here to try with a not right heart. Okay.
Right.
And Yeshua knew, okay. So what he started to defend with the Torah. Why? Because he started to grind. It says on the floor on the dust. Okay.
Yeah, on the sand. Yeah.
And that people understood several things about it. Okay. One, probably he was writing their names. Okay. And that could be related to Jeremiah that said something about that if you don't walk rightly before God, okay, then he will blow like the dust on the soil your name.
Wow. Interesting.
So what he's trying to do is, okay, you come to judge the woman, but you are not doing properly. Why? Because there are two different positions. Because honestly, the story doesn't say clearly what's going on. And the first thing is, if you are committing adultery and you are with your partner, supposedly, then what the Torah said, okay,
Both.
come, the man and the woman,
Right.
both.
Right.
Okay. And here they are only presenting who?
The woman.
The woman. Second, the portions on the Torah said, okay, you have the two. Then you have to bring at least 2 or 3
Witnesses.
witnesses.
Right.
Okay. And on the portion doesn't mention that there were witness. the accusers, in this case, the Pharisees, the rabbis that were against Yeshua's teaching, okay, what they were doing. Oh, this woman was caught, but by who? Where are the witnesses?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the text doesn't say that clearly, but then and then it says that Yeshua he was sitting on the floor writing, okay, and then he stand up, okay, and start just to deal the judgment properly. And then also it says that again he just sit down and start to write again on the floor. Okay, what he wrote, we don't know exactly. But there is something that gives you an idea. It says that he was writing with his finger. Okay. And then what God wrote with a finger,
The Ten
the
Commandments.
10 Commandments.
Wow,
Okay.
interesting.
So he is, when people saw that he was writing with a finger something on the soil, what he remembered them,
He was
the 10
reminding them,
Commandments.
right?
The 10 Commandments. Go and do it right.
Right.
Okay. There are no witnesses. And also there is something else interesting that he was writing on the soil, the dust. And remember that on the temple, the dust came. It says that he was on a very special place. The place on where the
Sacrifices, the offerings.
sacrifice, the offerings.
So it was the ashes of the offerings.
Yeah. So that's another possibility.
Right.
Okay. And when there is a commitment of adultery, what supposedly says the Torah that they have to do?
Both need to be stoned. Oh, right.
Yeah. No, they have to go to the priest, okay, and put the ashes or the dust with the sotat, right?
Oh, right.
With some water,
right,
and make them drink it.
right. And if
Okay.
she's guilty,
Then the problem of the stomach, okay?
right, right.
And but it says that from the eldest person to the youngest, they start to leave, because Yeshua replied to them, okay, if someone is with no sin, has not committed any sin, then start to stone. And what he's referring, okay, because the first one who has to stone a person is the witness.
Right.
And they didn't have any witness.
Right.
And they knew, okay, God will blow our names like the dust.
Wow.
And also we didn't bring at least 2 or 3 witnesses,
Right.
and we didn't bring the woman to the priest.
Right.
So what happened is, like, when the sentence is, okay, there is in English, I think you have there is innocent and not guilty.
You're innocent until you're proven guilty.
Yeah. But sometimes the judge says you are not guilty, not because you are innocent. is because there are not enough proofs
Right.
to demonstrate you are innocent or you are guilty.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So in this case, Yeshua replied to the woman, where are the guys who came here
To accuse you.
to accuse you?
Right.
And she said, I don't see anyone. Okay. Adoni, because the word is Adoni, is not Hashem, but in
Right.
Spanish or in English says Lord. Okay.
Right.
So people
But it
mix.
could be like Master or House of Lords type of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this in what Yeshua said.
Go away and sin no more.
Yeah. But before he said something interesting. I don't accuse you to.
Oh, I too do not accuse you. Right.
Why? Because is he saying, according to the Torah, I cannot make you a right judge.
Right.
There is no evidence. There is no any proof. Okay, to the accusers,
Right.
in favor of the accusers. And then he said, "Go away and sin no more." In 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 so in a fast reading, oh, Yeshua is pardoning her. No, he's not pardoning her.
Right.
He only make something which is a right judgment,
Right.
okay, according to the Torah.
Right.
So in that makes me think about this paradigm shift. Okay. Sometimes we have learned about some truth that you cannot expand yourself to what you are reading, to what you are looking at your surrounding, what is happening. Okay, because you believe, oh, this is black, 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 black. Okay, but what is black? Is the mixture of the of whole colors. Okay,
Right. Right.
black is not black. Honestly, black is there is a lot of colors inside the black, but
Is that
so
black or is that's not white? Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But the point at the end is um, that this is something that the rabbi teach us, and that is true. Is like a drug. The drug is to say, "Oh, I am right of my believings," and you are not constantly with dealing. Oh, probably what I think, what I thought, what I learned is right or not. So, and this is a beautiful teaching. In the end of this Shemot, also, the chapter ends with the book ends that with the presence of God dwelling among whole Israel.
Right.
Okay, because all the tribes were surrounding the tabernacle. In the midst where was the tabernacle, um, and then the glory of God appeared. But it says that the cloud
Descended.
go down, descended. Yeah, and when descended the cloud is because the cloud doesn't allow you to reveal to reveal the light properly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is like a shadow. Okay, to you, because if God, the presence of God descends in a place with a pure energy of light, then everybody is died, is
Right.
dead.
Mm.
Okay, so the cloud reminds you the attribute of mercy of God,
Mm. Right.
but also okay, because God wants to reveal the persons, but the people is not prepared to receive the light.
Right.
Okay.
Which is why he said to Moses, I can't go with you anymore. I'm going to destroy those people. His light
Yeah.
would destroy the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also on the other side for the people, not for God, for the people. So the end of the cloud is that you cannot see properly the light. So is God hiding? Okay, something like that. God is hiding, hiding. Pardon, sorry, hiding His face. Okay,
Right.
so God needs to be searched. Okay, and so the ones who wants to come closer to God needs to go through the cloud. Okay, and this is the book of Vayakhel. The ones who wants to come closer to God needs to approach to God. They need to cross that cloud,
Right.
okay, to find God.
Right.
And so in also this book of Shemot, uh, just to close, the book of Shemot means names.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So God is restoring Israel, the name of Israel in this book, the name of each tribe, of each family, of each person who were in charge of the sanctuary. Okay, Aholiab, and
Betzalel.
also Betzalel. In you find different names. The priesthood, Aaron, they were just slaves, okay, with no names.
Right.
And now God is taking all these persons who were slaves with no name to give them back a name. And it seems that it's not uh, something important, but but to give a name is a human right now, because that gives you identity. Okay, then people can recognize you. You exist by your name. Okay, even you put names to your dogs,
Right.
to my parrots, to
Yeah.
everyone has a name. Okay, in what the world wants to today, to become all our names into numbers. It's very sad to read, oh, 200 told, uh, dead persons, okay, 500 dead persons, um, were killed 1,000. So that becomes no names.
Right.
They become numbers.
Right.
Oh, we go to the market and we have we pick 30% of the market. I don't know, 10% of the market. That is numbers, are not persons. So that is something that today the world is trying to give you an identity, okay, by your but assigning you a number. But the point is that God called us, and that is written by our names. Okay. So he cares about us. And it's important that we still And this is something good into a community, a small community, that we all know our names.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So we are very important. Everyone has a role.
Right.
And that is something that I wanted to add just to finish. Thank you.
Moses, I just have one question, Mauricio, because Moses knew we could not look at God's face. Why do you think he asked him at that point, God, show me your face?
Well, it depends, because I don't think that Moses wanted to see the face itself, because God doesn't have any face.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing was strange.
No, he wants the what I understand in the word is, God, reveal yourself to me completely. And there is no brain, there is no mind that can receive
Right.
the whole energy of God,
Okay.
honestly.
But he would know that. He would know that. And then God says, I'll show you my back. Does it have to do with present and future? Past and future?
No, probably what he's saying, I will show you my back. And it's interesting because in some part of the Torah it says that he spoke face to God.
Yeah, right.
And then he said, I will show you my back. And what is the back in the scriptures? That in your back is your work.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Right. You in for example, I when in the field, I have a lot of work here. They say,
Right. Physical
right?
work.
So physical work.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to say, I will show you my back, is that I show you this world. I cannot show you the other side, because if I reveal myself to you, then you will die.
Right.
So and it's not something bad. I mean, because God revealed himself to Moses at that moment in a way that nobody else received the to be
That's
so close to God.
right.
Okay.
Right.
Even in Yeshua, and most Christians will say, oh, how it could be, okay,
Right.
that you
Right.
are saying, no, Yeshua is better than, no,
Yeah.
Yeshua is not better. I
Yeah.
mean, Yeshua did not talk face to God.
No.
He was at the Mount of Gethsemane, and he was praying. It doesn't say that God was like in the tabernacle as Moses.
Right. Right.
But I
So
understood about Moses and Yeshua, and I still tend to think this way, is that Yeshua was like a second Moses, and to me
yeah,
that they were both. When you said that,
But not one is greater than the other.
no, not greater, the same, but a different purpose maybe, but that they both, in a way, saw you when you said before that Moses got maybe closer to that was very special and that he got maybe closer to God than anyone else. But I think Yeshua
no,
was the same as Moses, but for that time, he brought people
yeah,
back to the Torah.
yeah. The is completely the role, I would say.
Sorry,
Okay,
completely.
it's a complete different role,
Okay.
different purpose.
Right, right,
Okay,
right,
because
right.
Moses is very clear. The Torah, it says that no one else will have the conversation as I reveal myself to Moses,
Okay.
to whom I spoke face to face. Okay. and I didn't, and that is God is saying that that nobody else received so clearly the messages from God as Moses.
Right.
So
Okay.
what's it mean in I forget which book where it says a greater prophet than
It doesn't say a greater
Is
prophet.
Oh, it doesn't? What does it
No.
say?
no, it's in the Barim. In the Barim
Yeah.
says that when Moses is dying, okay,
Yeah.
but I will do for it. Eh,
Yeah, that's an interpretation, Miriam. They changed the words.
Okay.
A prophet will come
so
after me.
yeah, but
So
Torah
what
is
does
very
that mean?
clear
Joshua.
that yeah,
Oh, I see. Okay, I understand. Understand.
yeah,
How is he greater than Moses?
It doesn't say greater, honey.
Oh, so what
Read it.
Oh, it just says a
The
yeah,
word
prophet.
the word was added.
Okay, okay, I
Yeah.
understand.
yeah. But at the end, let me check. Okay,
Yeah.
face to face. Um, is the internet is low.
Deuteronomy 18:15. Let me see. It says here, the Lord will raise up for you a prophet like me among you from your fellow Israelites. You must listen to him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah, the
say a
Varim
greater,
34. Yeah, like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. Okay.
but this was
Yeah.
18. Yeah.
So, but at the end, Yeshua, for me, he has a completely different role because what he's trying to do is to approach the people returning back to Torah. That is the purpose. And the problem is, uh, you know, when there is a game, you have a line of person, and you start to give a message one person, then the next person to another, and that is in Spanish is teléfono descompuesto, which
Same thing.
means
Yeah.
Broken
is the same
telephone.
Broken telephone in English.
broken telephone.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end, when you start to give the message, and after 10 persons, 5 persons, probably the message is already twist, okay,
Yeah.
to what you said originally. And your idea is completely different, okay? Because that is why it's so important to hear, to understand the message, okay?
Right.
But the problem is people started to 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 make a broken telephone
Right.
with the message of Yeshua.
Right.
And that is the problem. And you know, one of these days I was thinking that probably that's why the prophet said, then the whole nation will recognize, okay, the right message. Because at the end, when you start to understand the different religions, okay, the root of the main religions of the world comes from Judaism, and misinterpreted Judaism and provoked because of the religious people. If the religious people will take the time to teach the Torah,
Well, again, there's two Torahs, remember. You have the written
yeah,
and the oral.
yeah,
That's a big
yeah.
difference. Yeah.
But I mean, okay, if people came to approach to the Torah, okay, because that is something that happened to me. I came and I started to look for the truth. Okay.
Because you wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something in Christianism that doesn't make sense to me.
In Christianity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Christianity. But I couldn't knew the truth because what happened if you go to a rabbi, a regular rabbi, what happened to them? They reject you.
Right.
And why they reject you? Because, oh, we are pure and we are the chosen. But the problem, what happened? Oh, then I start to believing my ideas mixed with what I understand from Judaism, and then I create a new religion. And
Which,
that is how,
yeah,
that is what happened to Christianism. Okay, Christianity.
yeah,
Because Christianity is a misunderstood, I'm sorry to tell you, is a misunderstood Judaism. Okay. And then came the Muslims, and they born from Christianity and they born from Judaism too.
right, right.
So they became worse. They didn't comprehend nor Christianity nor Judaism,
Right.
but nobody wanted to teach them, okay, to explain, to take the time, in what we have today, uh, that there are a lot of Muslims in the world, and sorry to tell you, it's a headache for a lot of people in the world
Yeah.
today.
But some of them who are searching are turning to Christianity because Judaism does not, or there are some even to convert to Judaism, but a lot of people have nowhere else to go because they don't understand that the truth is the Torah. You're not Richard. Richard says, I don't like hearing other religions put down. We're not putting down
Mm-mm.
religions. Richard,
No,
please understand.
yeah, the point here is that responsibility from the Judaism is to teach people, okay? And if we want to see the prophecy fulfilled, we need to take responsibility to teach, and that is what the prophet says. One will teach to another, okay? And so that is something that happened to me, okay? I searched for many years until God drives me to Rabbi Chemi, and then he could link me with Rabbi Percy, and this is something that probably he, when we start to read, for example, the gospel, and we discover what really Yeshua was uh, teaching, we discover that Yeshua didn't teach you a new religion. He didn't said, I am God. No. What he was talking was about Torah. And we need to read it with the eyes of the Torah. The problem is, as Rabbi mentioned today, if you have a big paradigm shift back on you, and you are carrying that paradigm shift like a big rock, okay, then sometimes you just need to say, oh, what I'm doing. I need to stop. I need to change. I need to open my eyes. I need to open my ears. And many people doesn't want to take that responsibility. Okay. And then what we have to do as community, okay, we need to take all these persons to teach them what we learn, okay, and try to show the light of the Torah, okay.
And what we're learning is also a process. Many of us, what we
Yeah.
believed 2 years ago, we see it's a process of opening our eyes. And we're not putting down religion, but what we're saying is that, and it's matter also of semantics, because a person will say, I'm religious when they mean I believe in God. But then there's a difference between believing in God, trusting in God, following what God said. How do we know what he said? It's in the Torah. The Torah tells us very clearly Moses took the time to write down the things that he said. And even those can be misinterpreted, easily misinterpreted. And God says, don't add or take away from my words. In other words, don't go to other religions to try to find me, because you won't find me there. You will find me within that ketubah, the commandments that I gave you, and in the actions, in like in what I do in your lives. You're going to see the reality of who I am. And that's a long process. It takes a lifetime. And even then, will we ever really know God? It's like an ant trying to explain to his community what a human being is. So it's just,
Even Yeshua,
Yeah, and
in Matthew, what is it, Matthew 15, I forget, where it says, I have not come to change one word.
iota of the Torah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
said it
and
himself. So how could he be the basis of a new religion if he pointed us to the Torah?
Exactly.
and what Yeshua did, Yeshua criticized the Judaism. Look, he didn't criticize. Obviously, there were not probably were other religions, but not as today we have. Uh, but he confront his own group.
Yeah. He wasn't a Jew-hating Jew. He loved his
Yeah,
people. And he wanted us to turn back, so that, because the whole world is dependent upon that. If
yeah,
he created us as a nation to be a light to the rest of the nations, and we're not being a light, we're bringing in darkness, then the whole world is suffering. And that's been my heart. That's what
yeah,
I see. That's our heart in this community. For me, it's very sad when a Hasidic Jew runs away from his Hasidic community and has nowhere to go, and throws out God. They throw out the baby with the bathwater. Immediately, they want to throw out all those religious things that they were forced to do that were choking them, and they leave a relationship with their God, and that to me is very sad. That's to me the problem with religion. So I hope you understand that, Richard. It really is our heart to bring the truth as we see it, and I appreciate your questions. Honestly, we really do. So thank you, Mauricio. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, all those who participated in our service today. I want to wish you the rest of a Shabbat Shalom, and have a wonderful week. And Mauricio, it's your turn to present the
Shabbat
beautiful
Shalom.
Vayikra next week. I see you've
yeah,
already begun preparing.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
everybody.